right, here we are on Friday at Aftershock 2024 with probably my favorite interview I've done in my whole life, Marky Ramone from Brooklyn, New York. How are you, Marky?
All right, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Good.
This is such an honor. Thank you so much for taking the time today. Of course, legendary drummer Dust Estes, the Ramones, your own group, the Intruders. Everybody that's listening, head over to markyramone.com to stay updated, everything that I'm going to be talking about here. Just real quick, I'd love to talk about some of the old days, some of the early stuff for people that don't know. You played with so many bands, Dust Estes, Richard Hell, and the Voidoids. I heard you should audition for the New York Dolls, and there was a quote somewhere that said something like you played too many frills, or you didn't play straightforward enough and someone else got the gig. What was that?
My buddy Jerry Nolan, we were all friends. Jerry got the job, he knew Johnny Thunders very well, and that's what they needed, just to be. And I'm there, I just came off a band. We were one of the first heavy metal bands in America. So I was used to playing all these fills, and it wasn't needed.
Right.
And I was just being a show-off.
Did that kind of change your drumming going forward after that?
Well, I wasn't in Dust anymore, so when I joined, when I ended up hanging out in the New York scene at CBGB's, I kind of just stuck to the beat. And that's how I got to play with Chen County, Richard Hell, the Ramones. And,
yep,
you know.
The rest is history, right? 1978, you joined the band, 10 studio albums with the band, the most recorded amongst the band's drummers. Which are you most proud of? What the albums that you worked on with the Ramones?
Road to Ruin, the first one.
Very first one? How come?
Because it was produced really well. The song, its lyrical content was really good, and the energy was really good on that album. And I love the album cover.
Yeah, it's killer.
And it was fresh.
Yeah.
It was fresh because I just joined the band.
Right.
So I played heavier than Tommy.
Right.
But then there was the Phil Spector album, which was an experiment. A lot of punk purists didn't like it, but then eventually they did. And that was our biggest selling album. Right. There were good songs on that too. But I really loved Pleasant Dreams. That was the one after the Rock and Roll High School soundtrack. So that was another one.
What was that like doing that movie too? That was like a whirlwind time for you, I'm sure, right?
Well, yeah, I just joined the band, did the album Road to Ruin, then we were asked to come to LA, do the Rock and Roll High School album, not album, movie. Then it took 6 weeks, and then we did the Phil Spector album.
Wow.
And that took a long time. And so I was just brought into it, not expecting all this crazy stuff so quickly.
Yeah, right? I mean, they just threw you in there. One of my favorites, Brain Drain from '89. I wanted to ask you about the story there with Pet Sematary. I heard you guys went to Stephen King's place out there in Maine. Tell us about that. What was that like?
Well, I mean, he's one of the greatest writers of the last century.
Yeah.
And he was a Ramones fan, and he wrote made a movie, Pet Sematary. They wanted us to do the song. So Dee Dee got the book, read it, and it took him 20 to 30 minutes to write it.
That's what I heard.
So we were in the cemetery for the video, and there's no lights in the cemetery at night. So the only thing that we really had were just the lights of the people making the video.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But I drove there in my car, so I had to get out of there. I didn't know how to get out of there. There was no exit signs. So I'm going around the
Lost
cemetery,
in the cemetery.
And then I see this highway, so I had the car go like that down the hill, and I just got the hell out of there. But we were put into a grave.
Yeah.
Me and Joey.
An actual grave out there, huh?
There was a grave. There was a hydraulic system.
Wow.
That got us down into it. And, hey, shit happens.
Pretty spooky, pretty cool stuff though, man. It's funny, you and I both started working in radio at the same time. 2005, I graduated from my audio engineering school in Toronto. I started working terrestrial FM AM radio, and that's when I believe you became a DJ for Sirius XM.
Yes.
2005. How did you get into that? What made you do that?
Well, I was friends with Hal. I'm still friends with Hal, and Tony Hawks. and they liked the way I came off, and the people that run the company.
Mm-hmm.
So they asked me if I would want to do something. I said, yeah, as long as I picked the songs, and that was it.
Did they give you full creative control like that? Yeah,
yes.
that's amazing. You're still doing it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's killer. For everybody that doesn't know, make sure you check it out. It's Marky Ramone's First Wave Blitzkrieg.
Yeah, and then there's another channel I have on 914, which is 24/7.
Oh, and it shows the replays or plays the replays.
Just go to the app. On
Yeah.
the Ramone app.
Make sure you guys check that out. One thing I wanted to ask you before we're done, I think I'm correct in thinking that you're very passionate about food. You've been on Anthony Bourdain's show twice.
Oh yeah, good friend.
You got your own pasta sauce.
I don't have it anymore. I had to stop it at one point because there's too much stuff, too many things.
Too many irons in the fire.
It started growing, so I sold it.
Oh, okay. But still, you're passionate about food?
You gotta eat.
I figured if you were Anthony Bourdain, maybe you're, into cooking.
Well,
and
when
stuff.
we used to go out and eat, I would listen to him and take his advice on what to eat.
Nice.
Some of it was edible to him, but not to me. But I like tasting different things.
That's awesome. Cultured man. Speaking of touring, I see you got a small collection of dates coming up in November in Spain. Is that a favorite place of yours, or?
Right. Spain's great.
So, is that going to be it for the rest of the year?
No, then I come back to New York.
Oh.
Do a show in New York. My annual Christmas holiday shows.
Oh, nice.
That I do in the area, the tri-state area.
Right.
Then after Spain, after that I go to my place in Italy to chill out, and then I go back to South America.
Nice.
So,
all over the world.
a lot of stuff.
Make sure you guys check it out, markyramone.com. One last thing. How do you feel about the up-and-coming punk scene right now, and what advice would you give to the new generation of punks out there?
The original.
The original.
The original, like the Ramones. It's nice to be influenced by the Ramones and the Clash and all these bands, but try to come up with your own thing. You know what I mean? The Ramones already did it.
Yep.
Try to come up with something different.
I love that. Thank you, Marky Ramone, so much.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect, man. Thank you so